Hey guys, Rich Morgan with Magic Touch Mechanical out here in Mesa, Arizona. Actually, this morning I'm walking the dog out in Gold Canyon, Arizona, which is at the base of the Superstition Mountains. So if you see me turning my head or telling the dog to come on, that's why. We're out here in rattlesnake country, so I just got to keep my eye on him while we're doing our thing. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Trane versus American Standard and what the differences are. I write a regular blog, and I've been writing that blog for, well, I don't know, probably close to 20 years with hundreds and hundreds, if not over 1,000 how-tos and everything you'd ever want to know about air conditioning and heating and the brands. I do product reviews, all that good stuff. And far and away, Trane versus American Standard is our most searched blog. And so I wanted to tell you about what the differences are and what matters to you. All right, Trane versus American Standard. You want to stick around throughout this video because there are differences that matter to you. But I want to get first things first out of the way. Trane and American Standard are the exact same product. I have been to the factory in Tyler, Texas. I have seen them with my own eyes going down the line, both Trane and American Standard. The difference at the end of the day is a different paint color and a different badge slapped on the unit. Other than that, Trane and American Standard are the same exact thing. Now, there are some differences that you want to know about, so let's talk about those, because as a homeowner, just knowing that Trane and American Standard are the same product doesn't give you all the information you need to make an informed purchase. The big difference between Trane and American Standard is distribution. So what do I mean by that? Here in Phoenix, we're one of the busiest, biggest, most saturated HVAC markets in the country, for obvious reasons, right? We're one of the hottest places in the country. So we're fortunate enough to have our option here. We can buy Trane or we can buy American Standard. But as an authorized dealer for either one of them, you're not supposed to sell both. Not to say it doesn't happen, but you're not supposed to. So how does that work, and why would there be a difference in the same market? So first off, we have here what's known as a dealer sales office, a Trane dealer sales office. And that basically means that we buy factory direct. We buy our Tranes factory direct. Whereas if we're buying an American Standard, we're buying it through a distributor. Now, depending on where you are in the country, things can change, right? So in some places, Trane goes through a distributorship and the local people buy it through a distributor, and vice versa. Just in Phoenix, it happens to be factory direct on the Trane side, through a distributor on the American Standard side. So why does that matter to you as a homeowner if the product is exactly the same? The big difference is going to be what kind of service you can expect, what kind of parts availability is going to happen, that kind of thing. Take it from a guy who was what's known as a Trane comfort specialist, which is their highest end Trane dealer. Basically, that means we're installing more product than most. We're going through their training, all that kind of stuff, as well as somebody who's been an American Standard preferred dealer. So we've gone back and forth over the years. So why is that? We're in our 28th year in business at Magic Touch, and I spent many years selling many Tranes. One reason that we've shifted back and forth over the years is basically the level of service that we receive. So whereas with our American Standard distributorship, I've never had any issues. They've always been on top of things. They've always been very good. But there are people that you could tell them till you're blue in the face that Trane and American Standard equipment are the same, but they say, I just want a Trane. Or sometimes it's American Standard, but usually it's, I just want a Trane. So for years, we shifted back to the Trane side of things. And we were happy for a while. I have friends that work there. I know them. But the company specifically locally, over the years has gone through some changes. They've had some employee loss and that kind of thing, and then the service starts to dip. Why does that matter to a homeowner? As a contractor, if I install a Trane system and you need a part 2 years down the road, and they're telling me in May, oh, sorry, the part's not going to be available until August, that's not good business. We experienced a lot of that with the Trane dealer sales office over the years, so we shifted back to American Standard. Then Trane Technologies took over, and it seemed like they were on the right path again. So then we moved back to the Trane side of things. All was well for a while, and then we started having service issues, and specifically with trying to get parts. And we're a contractor that installs a lot of HVAC equipment, right? We install hundreds and hundreds of systems every year, and parts availability is key, because if I sell you a product, I'm basically telling you, hey, I'm going to service this. I'm going to make sure you're in good shape. When it's 115, 120 degrees in Phoenix, which we do hit, and sometimes stay there. Last year, almost 3 months straight, we were over 110 degrees. If you can't get parts for your air conditioner, it's not a inconvenience. It's almost life and death at that point. So anyway, American Standard versus Trane. The equipment itself comes out of the same factory. The parts are the same that go in them. The compressors are the same. The motors are the same. The circuit boards are the same. Like I said, the only difference in the equipment is paint color and the badging. Other than that, it's the same thing. Now that you know the equipment's the same, how do you know if you should choose an American Standard to install or a Trane to install? And is there a difference? Does it matter? It does matter. What really matters most in an air conditioning installation is that it's installed properly, it's installed to manufacturer specifications, and the proper guidelines are adhered to. That's what's going to make a system either last a very long time and be reliable, or a total piece of junk. It's all about the installation. So when you're trying to choose, don't worry so much about getting a Trane or getting an American Standard, because it's the same product. What you need to choose is the contractor that installs it, because that's what's going to make the difference on whether you have a good experience or you have a bad experience with this product. I go into much more detail on Trane versus American Standard on our blog. Our website is airconditioningarizona.com. But if you just Google Trane versus American Standard or Trane versus American Standard, what's the difference? Just look for Air Conditioning Arizona. We're going to pop up in your search results almost all the time because, like I said, that article has been so popular over the years. Hey, do me one favor, subscribe, because it helps support this channel. It shows Google and it shows YouTube that we're doing the right thing and helping homeowners out. And frankly, you get a lot more value out of a lot of the other articles and videos we post. Thanks again. Rich Morgan, Magic Touch Mechanical.